Candace Owens opens up about the people who called themselves Charlie Kirk's friends, but failed him when it mattered most. She reveals how some of them betrayed him behind the scenes, and how even after his death, they refused to stand up for him. Candace doesn't hold back as she exposes the truth about loyalty, motives, and the people who turned their backs on Charlie when he needed them the most. Let's jump right into it.
We knew, the public, we all knew who Charlie Kirk was as a human being, okay? Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. And what we are doing now is we are rejecting this idea that everyone who hit the stage at his memorial event can somehow now just be grandfathered into this organization, grandfathered into our acceptance. These individuals should no longer be questioned. They are friends of Charlie Kirk. That's emotional manipulation. They say they loved Charlie, and so we should just trust the science and ignore the many lies that they have told us. What exactly is TPUSA faith? Who is Rob McCoy? Why is it that these Calvary chapels have a long history of weird abuse and trafficking scandals that seemingly get swept under the rug?
Candace talks about certain people who claimed to be Charlie's friends but turned out to have motives that weren't as pure as he thought. The times we're living in is what the Bible warned about. What's good would be called evil, and what's evil would be called good. People may get away with sweeping things under the rug, but they still have to give an account to God one day. Not too many of Charlie's friends are fighting for him like Candace is. Candace talks about how society has gotten to a point where people will sacrifice a friend or a family member in order to advance in life. She calls it a Judas culture. Check this out.
It's a bit ridiculous. I'm very awake to, and I think you guys are as well, to these psychological tactics. And I've often discussed how in America, it is the media that intentionally fosters this sort of a culture. And in some regard, it's a Judas culture, right? There is a psychology that has manifested where people are encouraged to sell out their friends and even their family members in order to spare or advance themselves or to advance their careers. That's today's version, in my view, of the 30 pieces of silver, right? That's what you see playing out on the world stage when someone tries to struggle session a person into making a statement against one of their friends. Candace, you're better than Kanye. You have your whole life ahead of you. You'll have more of a future if you just say this one thing. Call him Adolf Hitler. Call him an anti-Semite. No, thank you. I said no.
Candace says the media has a huge part in this Judas culture, and I agree so much. It's so true. Culture has encouraged the masses to do this act of selfishness. Society thinks it's okay now since it's all in our faces. Candace says Tucker Carlson was asked to condemn her on someone else's TV show, and Tucker, being a good friend of hers, said no. Check this out.
Your good friend Candace Owens has been putting out some pretty wacko stuff, I would say, would be my opinion, on the death of Charlie. It's not helpful, is it, that, you know, at that time of incredible national upheaval and obviously personal and familial family tragedy, to have someone like that picking apart the argument and suggesting that there are darker forces at play here that the US government have a hand in covering up. Can you see why people get upset by that and would like you perhaps to sort of distance yourself from that sort of thing?
Pretty funny. So am I going to attack Candace Owens because you
I'm not asking you to attack her.
I'm not going to do that, Harry.
No,
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt as a foreigner of not understanding our politics, but the whole ritual of, you know, this person said something I don't like. In order to be a good person, you must denounce this person. Obviously, I would die before I played along with that. I don't know anyone who's saying that who was the moral authority to compel me. I don't know anyone saying that it was any moral authority at all. And I would say broadly, not about Candace, comma, whom I love, comma, but about all people, getting to the truth is the most important thing. I've devoted my life to it. I haven't always done a very good job at all, but it still remains to this day my animating motive. I want to know what the truth is. Again, I don't always get there. I often usually don't get there, but I want to be the guy who cares what's true. A. B, if you're telling me that because the U.S. government or some law enforcement agency issues a statement that doesn't even make sense, that I'm required somehow morally to accept that and not ask any questions, like, can you hear yourself? I mean, what are you saying?
It looks like Tucker is determined to uncover the truth. He isn't backing down, and he's not just accepting whatever the government says. He's going to keep asking questions. He stood up for his friend, Candace, and that is the right thing to do. This world system would rather you just accept what they put in our faces without questioning it. It's gaslighting and manipulation. Comment down below what you guys think of this video.